献给师父，给大家他最好的内容。请大家再以更热烈的掌声欢迎师父。
The following is the flowers offering ceremony. we'd like to introduce to you the next guest speaker, our fellow initiates, Greg Parks. Greg Parks would be sharing with you his experience in meditation.
Good afternoon. I'm sure you're all very interested in hearing what Master has to say, so I'll try and be brief. I just wanted to relate some of my personal experience after having been initiated and begun meditation with the Kuan Yin method. I was raised in the Catholic Church, and even though I had attended church regularly and religious classes, not Catholic school, but I never really got a true feeling of understanding of what the bigger questions of life were all about. It seemed much more ritualistic, and traditions and that kind of thing didn't really answer my larger questions about life. And then as a young adult, I started talking to some friends, and they started introducing me to different philosophies like Zen and other Oriental or Eastern philosophies. So I started getting some books, and this was the first I had ever heard of the concept of enlightenment, that which had never been presented to me. So it seemed like this is really the way to go, because all the limitations that I'd been learning throughout my life could be erased, and I could go to a higher level of consciousness and really, do something positive. So I tried meditation based on what I'd read in a couple of books, and I really didn't feel like I was doing anything. I had no direction, and some of the books talked about different things that you could achieve. A lot of them were about practices of physical nature, developing the body and the mind together, and the achievements of those seemed to be much more in the way of trickery, or things like walking on hot coals, and that didn't seem to be great achievements. So finally I got to a book that talked about a form of supreme enlightenment. They were talking about masters that had reached the great enlightenment, and the difference really struck a chord with me. I really became inspired to set that as my goal, and from that point on, a lot of things that I had to decide in my life became easier, because I knew what my goal would be, to go towards this enlightenment. But for several years I had no direction to take to get there. They had only talked about the enlightenment. It did not say anything about what to do, until a friend of mine gave me a couple of Master Ching Hai's books. And in those books, the first thing I read was about being vegetarian. And I immediately decided, well, this is easy enough, and I had no argument with what she had presented. It was so logical and clear that I just immediately became vegetarian. But that was more of a lifestyle change. I really wanted to see what the method of attaining enlightenment was like. So I went to Taiwan, and I received initiation. And from that point on, things after you meditate seem to become much more simple, much more, when there are problems, for example, when you're working, you really understand that there's not really a problem. Even though there may be a deadline and it may look like there's going to be a disaster, deep inside of you, you really understand that there is no problem. Even you don't really have to know what the outcome will be, but the calm that you get after having meditated, you can bring forward in your daily life, and keep a positive attitude with everything you do. Sometimes it's very difficult because people around you are very panicked, and a lot of doomsayers. So you have to sit down and relax and get back to that level of calm that you practice with meditation. And that seems to be the real lesson that I've been learning to this point. I've only been initiated for a little less than a year. But the inner calm and the reinforcement of your higher nature that you can bring out in your daily life and actually affect people around you when people are getting panicked and they come to you and you have this calm nature, they maybe in their minds are still worried, but for some reason you can help them and take the whole situation into a much more positive atmosphere. So even though we're right across the street from the happiest place on earth, it seems to me that, or I've been learning, that the happiest place on earth is where you make it and where you are. And the ability to bring that out from inside of yourself, no matter where you are, whether you're at Disneyland or if you're working on something that seems to have nothing but problems, you can get to the happiest place on earth by practicing your meditation and by learning to train yourself to stay in that kind of a consciousness. So that's basically my experience so far with the meditation. I have not, like I said, I've only been initiated less than a year, but it really has an overall benefit that if more people in the world would do it, I'm sure we would have a much better place to live. Thank you.
Our next guest speaker is another fellow initiate. Her name is Yung Pham. Please welcome Miss Yung Pham.
Kính thưa sư phụ, kính thưa quý quan khách, quý thương, quý đồng tu. Hôm nay tôi được hân hạnh đứng trước máy vi âm để giới thiệu cùng quý vị sư phụ của chúng tôi về pháp môn Quán Âm và về thành quả của tôi sau khi hành pháp này.
Honored Master Ching Hai, ladies and gentlemen, fellow practitioners, it is my honor today to introduce you to Master Ching Hai and the Wan Yin method, as well as my spiritual achievements after practicing this meditation method.
Kính thưa quý vị, sau hơn 2 năm trước đây, tôi cũng như đa số quý vị hiện diện tại hội trường ngày hôm nay, nghe nói đến một vị thiền sư người Việt Nam đắc đạo tại Hy Mã Lạp Sơn có pháp môn giúp người đạt giải thoát.
More than 2 years ago, I, like a number of you who are present here today, learned of a Vietnamese Zen master who achieved enlightenment in the Himalayas and who knew of a method that could help people achieve liberation.
Óc hiếu kỳ và tinh thần cầu đạo đã thúc đẩy tôi đến dự buổi thuyết pháp của Ngài Thanh Hải Vô Thượng Sư. Đó là ngày 3 tháng 12 năm 1989.
Curiosity and spiritual quest compelled me to attend Master Ching Hai's lecture. It was in December 3rd, 1989.
Sau pháp hội, một cảm giác lạ bắt đầu nhen nhúm trong tôi.
After the lecture, a strange feelings arose in me.
Những lời pháp khiến tôi như chợt bừng tỉnh sau một giấc ngủ dài, và lúc đó tôi mới thức giác và thực sự hiểu được những điều mà tôi đã tưởng là mình đã hiểu.
Her words had awakened me as if after a long sleep. And it was then that I became truly awake and truly understood what I thought I had always understood.
Nhưng với tính e dè thận trọng, tôi chưa ghi tên thọ tâm ấn ngay sau buổi thuyết pháp đó, mà còn dành một thời gian để tìm hiểu thêm về pháp môn, về người truyền pháp, về lý lịch, về gốc gác, thành quả tu học của Ngài trong quá khứ cũng như sinh hoạt hiện tại.
But due to my own cautious nature, I did not sign up for the initiation on that day of that lecture. Rather, I spent some time studying more about this method, about her teaching, like her background, origins, her past spiritual accomplishments, and current activities.
Cẩn thận hơn nữa, tôi còn tìm đến trung tâm thiền của Ngài để tập thử pháp thiền phương tiện và quan sát thành quả tu học của các đệ tử của Ngài.
Still cautious, I went to the meditation center to practice the convenience method, the method for the non-initiates, and to observe the spiritual outcome in her disciples.
Bởi tôi quan niệm khó có thể xét đoán trình độ của một vị thầy, nhưng nếu là một người thầy hay, ắt sẽ đào tạo những học trò giỏi. Một pháp môn có giá trị, ắt người hành phải đạt được những kết quả tốt.
I reasoned that it would be hard to judge the teacher's level. Nonetheless, a good teacher would turn out good disciples. If the method were valuable, the practitioner would be able to obtain good results.
Chưa hết, tôi còn thỉnh tất cả những băng giảng của Ngài để nghe với hai mục đích. Một là tìm hiểu về giáo lý, hai là tìm khuyết điểm của Ngài.
Moreover, I acquired all Master's lecture tapes. I listened with two purposes. One, to find out more about her teaching, and two, to see whether I could find any faults.
Nhưng sau 6 tháng nghiên cứu, tìm hiểu và coi hơn 20 cuốn băng video của pháp môn Quán Âm về người truyền pháp, tôi đã đi đến kết luận, quả thực đây là một chánh pháp, nếu không muốn nói đó là một bảo pháp.
After 6 months of researching, investigating, and watching more than 20 of Master's video tapes about Wanyi method, I concluded that this method was indeed a precious teaching. It was indeed true, precious teaching.
Người truyền pháp đúng thực là một vị minh sư và các đệ tử của Ngài là một tập đoàn có tổ chức, có mục tiêu tu hành chính đáng, giới luật nghiêm minh.
The teacher of this method was indeed a true master, and her disciples were an organized group who has true spiritual goals and who kept strict precepts.
Và tôi đã gạt bỏ những lời đồn, những dọa nạt bên ngoài để hăng hái ghi danh thọ pháp.
Thus, I rejected all rumors and intimidation and eagerly signing up for initiation.
Kính thưa quý vị, sau khi thọ pháp, tôi đã đạt được gì và tiến bộ ra sao?
Ladies and gentlemen, subsequent to my initiation, what have been my achievements? How have I progressed?
Ai cũng biết rằng bước vào chánh đạo là sẽ đạt được sự an vui, thanh thản cũng như những thử thách, chui rũa để thăng hoa. Tôi cũng không tránh được những định luật này.
We all know that being on a true path implies peace and contentment, as well as challenges and discipline. I was not exempt from this.
Ngoài sự an vui thanh thản, tôi cũng gặp những khó khăn, khảo nghiệm, đôi khi làm tôi xuống tinh thần, sa sút nhuệ khí tu học.
In addition to peace and tranquility, I also encountered difficulties, challenges which would sometimes discourage and impeded my spiritual progress.
Nhưng nhờ vào những thể nghiệm có được trong thời gian qua đã khiến tôi thêm sức mạnh, tin tưởng mãnh liệt vào pháp môn mình đang theo và người mình đã tôn kính làm thầy.
Due to my spiritual experiences, I have gained strength and stronger belief in my meditation method I'm practicing, and in the person I revere as my master.
Nhờ hành thiền đều đặn, đầu óc tôi trở nên sáng suốt để có thể nhìn xét sự việc một cách sáng suốt hơn, tường tận hơn.
Having been practicing meditation diligently, my mind has become clearer. I'm able to examine things more clearly and thoroughly.
Biết người, biết ta như vậy, nên hành động bớt sai lầm. Các thói hư tật xấu cũng giảm bớt, thí dụ như nóng nảy, tranh chấp, ganh ghét, đố kỵ, tham lam.
Being more aware of myself and others, I have had furious mistakes in my actions and bad habits, such as anger, envy, jealousy, greed, have also decreased.
Tâm an nên thân xác cũng khỏe mạnh, không bệnh hoạn, đau ốm. Cuộc sống nhờ vậy dễ chịu và an hòa.
Because of my heart is at peace, my physical body is also in good condition. My life consequently become more comfortable and peaceful.
Về tâm linh, nhờ pháp môn Quán Âm, tôi đã biết thế nào là cảnh giới thiên đàng, thế nào là âm thanh, thế nào là hào quang của Phật và hiệu năng của những âm thanh, những ánh sáng ấy ra sao.
With regards to spirituality, thanks to the Wanyi method, I now know about the kingdom of God, about Buddha's lights and sounds, and the power of these sounds and lights.
Một điều mới mẻ với tôi sau này là tôi còn biết thế nào là hóa thân của một vị minh sư. Tại sao hóa thân của một vị minh sư là một điều cần thiết cho ta? Trong trường hợp nào có thể gặp được hóa thân đó?
I also learned about the transformation of the Master's body, and why is it important for us to see, and how can we be able to see him or her?
Những lúc tôi va chạm với công việc, những lúc tôi va chạm với những người xung quanh, những lúc tôi cô đơn nhất vì không ai có thể hiểu mình được như mình mong muốn, những lúc không ai có thể giúp tôi vượt qua được những khó khăn, trở ngại trước mặt, là những lúc tôi cảm nhận được sự hiện diện của sư phụ tôi bên cạnh để an ủi, để vỗ về, hỗ trợ cũng như để dạy dỗ và khai sáng cho tôi.
When I encountered friction at work, when I felt most lonely and no one around to help me to overcome the difficulties and obstacles, those were the times when I could feel Master's presence, who came to comfort and support me, as well as to teach and guide me.
Đây là những ấn chứng tu học đã giúp tôi qua được nhiều cám dỗ của trần cảnh và giúp tôi vun bồi niềm tin tu học thêm vững mạnh.
Those were the experiences that helped me to overcome many challenges and seduction in this world and nourished me my spiritual practice.
Tin tưởng vào pháp môn mình đang hành là một chánh giác. Tin tưởng vào người truyền pháp là một vị cứu tinh.
I firmly believe that the method I'm practicing is the true path and that the teacher of this path is a Messiah.
Để một ngày không xa, tôi sẽ thoát khỏi những ràng buộc của tham sân si tại thế để vĩnh viễn an hưởng một cuộc sống tự tại, giải thoát.
One day I'll be free from the bondage of greed, hatred, and ignorance, and will enjoy eternally a contented and liberated life.
Trước khi dứt lời, tôi xin hân hạnh giới thiệu đến quý vị người đã đem lại cho tôi một cuộc sống mới và cũng là sư phụ của chúng tôi, Ngài Thanh Hải Vô Thượng Sư.
You to our Supreme Master Hai, the person who gave me a new life.
Xin cảm ơn quý vị.
Thank you,
Xin
ladies.
cảm ơn sư phụ.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Master.
On behalf of the disciple and the people who gathering today, we sincerely ask the Master Hai to open the lecture today.
My dear brothers and sisters, especially the Vietnamese brothers and sisters, please allow me to speak English because we are in America. Is that all right? So I wish you a very pleasant evening together. We have always heard that the kingdom of God is within us and the Buddha nature is inside all of us. Now the Buddha nature and the so-called kingdom of God are not two different things. It is different names to describe the same thing. It's just like in different language, we call flowers with different intonation. If the kingdom of God, if God is within us, why couldn't we find it? It is because we have forgotten how great we are, how true happiness can be only found if we really know ourselves. Many people are happy, they think they're happy because they have a lot of money, or they're proud to be in a very high social position. And we sometimes are proud of being very educated, have a vast knowledge of many things pertaining to life on earth. But these things are not permanent and not the whole knowledge of the universe. If somehow we can forget these ephemeral matters for the time being and deeply contemplate on who we are and why we are here or what we are made of, then we'll be able to know our greatness or the kingdom of God which is within ourselves, or the Buddha nature, if you are allergic to God. If we want to be proud of ourselves, I think we should be proud properly, because we are the greatest in the whole universe. And if we know that, then we should truly be proud. But of course, after knowing ourselves, we do not feel any pride at all, because it is just a very normal affair.